Earlier in the week, I filmed some protests that were led by what appeared to be a teenage African-American girl with a megaphone. And I want to make a statement that me filming such things, I noticed 10 people unsubscribed from the channel, which is fine. But when someone films something, when someone documents something, that does not necessarily mean they support the things that are said by someone in that video. Sometimes it's important for at least one person to be there to document the reality of what happened. And there's a lot that one could take away from observing that video. One can observe that, hey, it's not a really big crowd. It's kind of getting smaller and smaller and smaller. One could take away from the video, hey, there's a lot of divisiveness involved in the rhetoric. And there's a lot of, we have someone that's talking about Antonio Martin, and most people that are looking at the situation that have common sense are seeing a situation where a person pulled a gun on the police or pointed a gun at the police, and regardless that there seems to be consensus on that being the reality of what that video or photos show, there are people who say, oh no, that's not a gun, that's just his hand. They clearly shot him because they wanted to hunt a black guy. And so there are people out there that actually believe this. This is a scary time for a lot of cops. And this isn't about defending cops, attacking cops. It's just stating part of the reality. And I actually talked with a cop in Portland for about 10 minutes, a clean and safe cop who was very much on the defensive because I was filming. So I put the camera away and actually had a real heart-to-heart and intellectual. We actually had a connection there, heart and mind, that kind of took him aback. But I enjoyed it. And sometimes we need to put the camera away and actually have those heart-to-heart moments, mind-to-mind moments, man-to-man moments. It would also be nice to talk to some female officers, but, and we may have had a difference of opinion on a few things, but the fact that we were able to have a conversation is what we both enjoyed out of it. Observing the maturity of the other one, him looking at me and me realizing this is a fairly unusual officer, although clean and safe officers, I don't want to say they're a step down from the Portland police, but they do a slightly different job. But it does deal with relating to the people on the street and, in a way, cleaning up the mess. And police officers today, clean and safe officers today, other public servants, some of them have very difficult jobs that some people don't contemplate. And I certainly don't think that all cops are racists or murderers. And I think that such rhetoric is, and especially when the mainstream media is supporting it, it's very indicative of big things coming to this country, that they're actually trying to ferment things and create this division. And that's very serious. That's very serious. But this is all going to continue to build. And meanwhile, we have the manufactured gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, and the way that women are programmed to view men a certain way, and of course the way men are programmed. It's working both ways. That's a separate conversation, but it's involved here in the big picture, because we're looking around the radar and we're seeing so many different deceptions take place and so many people that seem to be under mind control. So when I go out and film something, it's to document. And what one could take away from my recent videos is this. Whether you chose to comment or not, there really weren't that many comments. It may not have seemed that very interesting, but you can see that it's a small protest. Organization is not very good. Tonight there's a protest, or there was a protest scheduled at the Moda Center, which used to be called the Rose Garden, and they never promoted for it on their Facebook page, and only 15 people showed up. And not only that, there's no event at the Moda Center, even though the New York Knicks are going to play there against the Blazers tomorrow. So from a strategic perspective, putting on my protester cap, you'd think you would want to be there when there's a lot of people there, not so much to have a confrontation, but to spread the information that you want to spread. So tomorrow there's an event at the Rose Garden, but tonight there's not, or at the Moda Center. And so there's only 15 people there, and what we've seen is the protest gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And these things tend to happen when people get emotional and the mainstream media is pouring gasoline on the flames and they're doing 24/7 coverage on MSNBC and CNN. It has an effect, and people are out in the streets, and a mob is created, and a mob is directed, and a mob is supported. The revolution is being televised. Unfortunately, the revolution is being co-opted by those that are televising it. So it's a sophisticated operation. Understand that when I film something, it's not necessarily me endorsing it, and perhaps there's a lot more things that I should be filming. But I also want to say that I'm not out there wasting my energy and time to document everything or be aware of everything that's going on the planet. That's why I did not go down to the Moda Center, aka Rose Garden, to film 15 people. You know, I looked into my intuition today and asked myself if it felt right to go down there in the rain. And I looked up as well on the website and saw that there's no event planned for today. So I pick my battles. When something feels right, when it feels like I should go out there and document something, I'll do it. If it feels like I should stay away or not get involved in the fight, I'll go that route as well. Trust me, that there's a part of me that realizes this is an opportunity for me to grab my own megaphone and megaphone the protesters and maybe try to shed some light on the larger issues that they aren't even looking at. But there's also another part of me that says, why even bother? You know, there's strength in actually just being silent and observing all these different divide and conquer games that are taking place. And being conscious enough to have the intention to take the higher road. And, of course, look at the larger picture, not get stuck down in one of these distractions. Thank you for watching.